Every e-commerce owner I talk to has the same two problems. First, they have a massive list of growth tasks like creating their social media content that never gets done because they're stuck answering the same basic questions from the team all the time. And secondly, they have this graveyard of SOP documents in a Google Drive somewhere that no one actually goes through. You want to scale, but you or a manager in your team is trapped being the human search engine for your employees. Every time a complex process comes up, the team's workflow stops until you stop and explain it. But imagine if your team had a 24/7 digital manager that had read every one of your procedures and could guide them through complex tasks in seconds. Today, I'm going to be showing you how we use N8N to build an SOP RAG agent to buy you back 10 plus hours of your week and finally give your team the bandwidth to focus on stuff that actually moves the needle forward. So this is automation right here. Let's get straight into it. You see, most business owners try to scale by hiring more people. But they forget that more people equals more management. If your business relies on you being the smartest person in the room for every minor decision, then you haven't built a business, you've built a cage. Automation isn't about replacing the human touch. It's about removing the human bottleneck so your team can actually do the work that you hired them for, which is exactly what this automation allows. Let me break it down for you. You start off with this Google Drive trigger. So that means whenever a folder is uploaded into whenever a file is uploaded in this folder here in my drive, the automation will start to download set file. So I made this random template using Gemini, and it will then embed it into this Superbase vector store using ChatGPT's OpenAI language model to do so. So if I go here into Superbase, I'll find all the information that I've embedded from this Google Drive document. After it's been embedded, the second half of the automation is a AI agent. So the trigger here is this chat message, which I can open from here, or alternatively, what I can do is I can make this chat publicly available. So there's this link here that you can connect to Slack, you can connect to Discord or whatever communication system your team uses. And I can ask it any question I need that I could ask it in here. So I don't have to go into N8N every single time I want to ask it a question. It'll reply to you using Google Gemini, but it'll only reply to you from the information based on here. So because I go into AI agent, I put a prompt with the restriction, you must always pull information from the vector store, meaning it's not gonna pull random info from its own language model. It'll only give you answers based on information you've embedded into Superbase, which really helps to minimize hallucinations. And then after you've done that, it's pretty much it. So for example, let's say I'm doing this process and I want to remember what are the prerequisites for automation testing. I'll go on this chat message here or in the link, doesn't matter where. I'll ask it, what are the prerequisites for automation testing? And then it will reply to me. It's gonna do its thing, and it's automation right here. If I go back, everything would have triggered. And so the prerequisites for automation testing include a stable environment, stage/Q&A. So if I go back here, that's this one right here. Access to selected automation tools, access to selected automation tools, it's the second one right there, and define test cases, blah, 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 define test cases. So answer my question based on information I put onto here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how you can build this from scratch as well, in case you want to be the head of automation in your own company. So let's get started. This is a brand new workflow in N8N. And before we begin, maybe you're not convinced, maybe you're thinking, why a RAG agent instead of just a search bar? It's because search gives you a document to read, which takes a lot of mental energy to go through the entire thing, which even if you do, you end up brain fogged by the end of it. RAG gives you a specific instruction to follow. When an employee asks, how do I handle a high-risk Shopify return, for an example, they don't want to read a 10-page manual. They want the 3 steps they need to take right now based on your policy. That's the difference between data and intelligence. And for example, I used to work in sales, used to work in gyms, and a lot of the time, let's say I'm doing a complex process that I've done multiple times, but let's say it's like a 10-step thing and I forgot one step within it, like, oh, do you need to go to the sales tab or is it the members management tab? Then if I had this, I would ask it, oh, for this, I could have just asked it, oh, for this, do I need to go to this tab or this one? It's just one step that I need a reminder on. And instead of just interrupting a manager or someone, I can just ask this, get the step that I need, and carry on with my work without interrupting my flow state, which makes me a lot more productive. So this will be very useful to your team, not just for yourself so you can focus on more things, but even for them so they can work more efficiently within the time they are working in. So start off with a trigger. The trigger here was Google Drive. So Drive, Google Drive, and on changes to a specific file. Wait, no, sorry. Second one on here, on changes to a specific folder. That's the one you want. So number 2. Then the first one here, all you need to do is connect your own Google Drive account. So you would press new credentials and you'd connect Google Drive. Now, for some reason, Google Drive is a bit awkward to connect. I'll close, I already have my account, because you have to go through the Google Cloud to link it for some reason, even though every other Google tool requires just a simple Google sign-in. If you need any help with that, let me know in the comments and make a video on it in the future. And then you have the triggers on, holding this folder, that's fine, that's all I need. Then you choose your folder, so whatever folders you have, I'm gonna go with the rag Asian test. And watch for file created. So it means whenever a file is created, this, well, over drive folder, there we go. File is created here, this automation will start. So I'm just gonna download this and delete. So press fetch event. So it's now, trigger node. Now if I press fetch event, you'll see it won't work because there's no file here. However, if I go on my downloads, let's grab this, it's uploaded, and now the trigger goes through. No node executed successfully with all information from the drive embedded here. Now the next step is to download said folder. So you would go Google Drive again, you would say download file, because we want to download information from that file. Let's say from list, right there. So you want to find the file ID. So in this scenario, it would be, there we go, right there, file ID. Because the reason why we want to do this is because what happens is you can upload multiple files in here, right? I can imagine your company has a massive list of procedures. So instead of putting one specific file name and have to manually build automation for every single file, you instead get this JSON right here, the file ID. So now, whenever a Google Drive uploaded, let's say upload a brand new folder here inside this brand new file in this folder, it will then use the Google ID from the new file that you just made. So you don't have to constantly readjust and add new information to here. So I put execute step, and we got it right here. Resource, that's fine, leave it as it is, file, download, and then you can close this. And then you want a new step, you go to Supabase, and not the first one, you want to go on this one, the Supabase vector store. Basically means it creates a new store. And the one we want to choose is add documents, update, yes, we add documents. Right there, and then document, choose from. It's going to be the documents tab that I've made in my vector store. And let me show you where it is. So if I go to Supabase, you go, log in, my dashboard. So the way it works, you have to make a new account. After you've made a new account, you would need to create a new project. If I go here, you have the organization ID, which is my email, I'm gonna blur that out, your project name, and test 2, again, it doesn't matter, it can be anything you want. Your database password, make your own password, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna make a random password right there. Region, Europe, enable data APIs, make sure that's ticked in, and create new project. And then this is the project. What you want to do, you go to SQL editor first, and the code you have to copy and paste into here, which is going to be, if you go on the NNA docs resources, the links for this will be in the description, by the way. You would scroll down quick start for your vector store, go down, and stay with me now. Looks complex, but all you have to do is copy and paste this. Just press this right here. And then if I go back here, control paste, all you have to do, then press run CTRL, run control. It should show up as success, no rows returned. And then on my table editor, a new project has been made, which is documents, unrestricted. But of course, you can change that name if you'd like. And then what I would do, I would go here, I would go to base, I would choose the documents folder, choose the one that says documents, not the RPC_1. Embedding batch size 200, leave it as it is. And then if I press execute step, problem known vector superbase. Oh yes, sorry, a bit ahead of myself. You have to go back, choose the embedding tool, and I choose ChatGPT personally. So embedding, close this. OpenAI embedding. Embedding, text, embedding 3 small, that's it. Properties, the rest can see as it is, that's fine. And with this little asterisk, it does cost some money. So if I go to my ChatGPT account, I'll show you what I mean. If I go to billing, you need to have some credit. Otherwise, what it's gonna say, if you don't have any credit, it's gonna say, on the automation, was I find it because I'm blind. There we go. If you try to run this, where did I put, wait, there we go, right there. Took a while. That took a lot longer than it needed to. So, what's gonna say, if you run it and you have no credits here, it's gonna say you've reached your limit for OpenAI. So, and this costs nothing, by the way. I believe it's about 1/10 of a cent per run. I've tried this a few times already, and I uploaded $5, and it hasn't taken anything yet because it's been less than a penny. So yeah, just make sure you just keep that in mind, that's all. And then if you go to embedding document loader, and this default data loader, nice and simple. JSON, leave it as it is. Actually no, not JSON, binary, my mistake. Leave it as binary. Load all input data, automatically detect my MIME type is fine. Text splitting, leave it as it is. And then if I go back, no, it's actually, this may not work just because I've not linked a new account. Oh yeah, I need to connect to the new, this is my previous workspace, the one I showed earlier, to connect the new one that's made for this test. So if I go to, create new credential. So in that case, I'm gonna go, OpenAI, I can close this, I can close. If I go back to project settings, if I go to API keys, so this is my API key. I'm gonna press copy and paste. Service host. I know. And then to get this host, what you would have to do is go to general, table editor, put overview. And you hover over this, it's gonna be right there. Project URL, copy and paste that, put them both into here, and it should say connection tested successfully after you press confirm. Close this back up, go here. And now if I go press execute step, yada, 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 you can see that node executes successfully. It took all the data from here. So if I go to JSON, it'll be all the information from the previous steps of the workflow. Upload into here, and we're done. And if I go back to my first workflow I showed in this demo, you see it's the exact same one, and it ran through just fine. Then the next part, and luckily this is the easy part. All you have to do is press execute. All you have to do is press plus, and go AI agent. Close this, and disconnect this. Either one needs to be connected. Wait, let's go back. Yeah, it's just get rid of that. There we go. And we're gonna add trigger chat trigger right there. Boom, boom. So I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna connect it to the AI agent. And now if I go here, as you can see, this message box from earlier has arrived. And in terms of chat model, for this, I'll be honest, you can use whatever the hell you want. I prefer Gemini personally, I think it's a bit better. But you can use ChatGPT, Claude, whatever. So Gemini 2.4 Flash, blah, blah, confirm, yep. And again, for this, make sure you log in with your Google account. I'm already logged into all my accounts already for N8N. For memory, simple memory. What memory means, just so you're aware, is basically how many conversations it remembers within that chat. So let's say if I go back here to my first workflow, where is it? Boom, 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 boom. The part we had earlier, when I remember, I think it's gone because I refreshed it. Basically, each message within the chat is 1. So if memory is 5, so let's say I ask it, hey, what are the prerequisites? Then it gives me a response. Then I ask it, hey, what are the tools required? Give me a response. That's 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's how many messages you and the AI tool send to each other. You make it higher or lower, but keep in mind, the higher it is, the more credits it might potentially take up from here. The ChatGPT billing page I showed you earlier. So keep that in mind. 5 usually is good enough. I keep it at 5. If you want to go higher or lower, that's fully up to you. And then as for tools, this is where you go to super base vector store. Boom, 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 boom. Wait, no, wait, wrong one. My apologies. There we go. Super base tools. Because all you're doing here, make sure you connect your accounts, whichever the right one is. 3 is the most recent one that I just made. Tools, description, automatically, custom schema, let's leave that unticked. Sources, row, so it just means that it's gonna get information from the rows, these ones here, right here, these rows. So it's fine, table ID or name, documents, so that's the name that we have for this right here. So you can see it's documents. Then define below for each column, data field, anything that should be everything, nothing else I need to adjust. So that's all done. Now, the last part you need, which is the most important part, which is very important, is to add a system message. So if I go to add options, system message, this is basically the prompt that you give to the OpenAI. So I'll show you the one that I've already built. I'll put the template in the description. You just copy and paste it if you would like. Let's go to expression and let's go this, just gonna make it bigger. So overview, you are a helpful, intelligent information extracting assistant that answers queries that come to you. That's the overview for the AI. Now these tags right there, there should be a space between actually each one. These are the markdown tags. So basically what markdown tags mean, it makes sure that the AI tools doesn't read this as a hashtag. The one hashtag means heading 1, the same as you would on a Word document, that massive heading. 2 hashtags is heading 2, 2 hashtags again here, heading 2 again. It's just a good way to help the AI tool categorize the information so it understands it much better, makes it more digestible. It's a bit like how when you're working with an employee that you have, because again, this automation is an agent, it's actually one of your employees. So in a real life human, you would give its information as clearly as possible so it does not confuse what you mean when you ask it to do a certain process. Same thing here, make sure the information you give to the AI tool is as clear as possible to avoid errors, avoid hallucinations, because at the end of the day, if an employee does something the wrong way, it might not be their fault, maybe it's your fault for not giving the accurate instructions, so always keep that in mind. So this overview, which we went through that, tools, Just one tool here. It might be much bigger depending on what automation you're building. Vector store. So it will always be used when answering any questions the user might have. Meaning every single question someone asks this chat agent, I've removed already, whoops. But every question someone asks that chat agent, it will give it information from the Superbase vector store that we've built. And rules, you must always pull information in the vector store, and your answers need to be concise and to the point. Again, I'm not looking for a friend to speak to here. I'm just looking to remember this one step in this process. And then if I zoom out, let's go down, 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 down. And I ask it once again, let's go back to the RAG agent. Let's go here. Just ask it what the purpose of this auto SOP is. Okay, I gotta close some of these tabs, bro. Go back here. Okay. What is the purpose of this SOP? I cannot spell. What is the purpose? What is it? It'll go through here. It goes through there. Oh, sorry, what is the purpose? So they're asking my question. Which is actually a really good thing, because it shows that if I'm asking it a question it doesn't know the answer to, it's not going to hallucinate or give me some made up bullshit. It's going to actually give me the response that, sorry, I don't know, meaning that it's not going to give me any wrong steps. Where's the purpose of automation testing? Because that's what this was, automation testing. It's going to go through everything one more time. There we go. The purpose of automation testing is to automate manual testing processes to improve efficiency, effectiveness, and coverage of software testing. Establish standardized process for planning, developing, executing, and maintaining automated test scripts, ensure consistency and high quality releases. Boom, right there. Oh, and one last thing as well. If you want to make this chat publicly available, all you have to do is go here, click this, and you get this link that we copied and pasted earlier and made the conversation with. Authentication, none, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so that's all you have to do. And that's pretty much is the full automation. Just now, you just build an AI agent that downloads information from this drive folder you've chosen, as well as gives you an AI agent you can speak to ask questions about this process. But remember, the biggest ROI of automation isn't just to save time, it's what you do with that time. When your team stops asking you how to do their jobs, they start having the time to create content, engage with customers, and innovate. We're automating the boring stuff to facilitate the creative stuff that actually grows your revenue. And if you want to work with us, there'll be a link in the description for a call. My name is Mustafa, I'm head of North Star Automations. Any questions about workflow or in general about automation, feel free to put it in the comments down below. Thank you for your time and attention. It's a valuable resource and I appreciate you giving it to us. And I shall see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.